Hey guys, how are you tonight? This is Rachel Feldman. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Wednesday night to be here and to talk about if this business mastermind is for you. I just want to personally thank Marcy. Um, Marcy had put this together. She and I were chatting back and forth via email, and she said, "You know what? Why don't we is there something you can send me, a little snippet post about like this mastermind?" I said, why don't we just do this the right way? Why don't we get everyone on a webinar and just do live questions and answers? Because for me, when it comes to courses and investing my money anytime, whether it's a course or a program or something or hiring a coach, I always want to talk to them, and I always want to ask personal questions to really know what I'm getting into, or if this is right for me. So I did put together a little PowerPoint presentation in addition to, having the sales page there. But before we even start, I'll just introduce myself. If you guys don't know me, my name clearly is Rachel Feldman. I have been a health coach for, I believe it's now 7 years. I graduated from the Institute for Integrated Nutrition. After that, I went off and went to a few different schools that specialized in detoxification and cleansing, really out of my own personal want and need for that information. I realized that so much of my own gut issues, autoimmune, Lyme, heavy metal, toxicity, stuff that had happened in my own life, and the very things that I had passed on to my little ones, as well as the clients who were coming to me with clearly more than just wanting to add superfoods to their life, which I thought maybe would be my blessing, but that was not. That I realized that people who were coming to me in my practice had a myriad of different health issues. And so I went off to a bunch of, like I said, about 3 different schools thereafter. And that is an ongoing process always of learning more knowledge. I am a business coach. I work with coaches one-on-one. I also create done-for-you programs. And I also then support coaches within those forums to help them build their business. Proud wife and mama, it's always my why. I do support my family financially. So I tell you, 6-figure business owner, because it is possible. I actually made 6 figures before I even started selling the Done For You program. So making that as a health coach is definitely possible, but you need visibility. You need to build your authority. You need to have a system in place, especially if you have little ones at home or you're working a 9-to-5 job. I built my business with 2 little ones on the floor. And in those first, 2 years, I really didn't have that system. I was like fumbling through handouts, and I was passing my kids off to my husband at night, and fitting in clients, and I wasn't charging my worth, and I wasn't visible in the ways that I am once I started to actually put a program on my site. And that was actually the birth of the first Done For You program, which was a detox and elimination program, because that's the system that I really believed in for my clients. So with that being said, I am going to answer any questions. That is just a little of my background. If you want to ask any more specifics of how I got to where I am, that's really what this course is about. It's the building brick and mortar foundation, what I call blocks that you need to have in your business from day one, because what I do day one is really no different from what I do now. Platforms have changed. They will always change. I'm not a Snapchatter, but clearly Gary Vee is and the rest of the world. But what I did back then with, Pinterest or Google Plus and YouTube is the same thing I do now, maybe with just live stream, Periscope, Instagram. I still Pinterest, not with intention, but just from my blog. I still blog the same amount per week. And I've created a schedule for that. And that is what has allowed me to have a consistent and profitable business. Um, so the way that I also created this mastermind, just to even take you through this before we get into the Q&A. Um, and if you have a question, can someone just raise their hand so I know that you can hear me and everyone's here and we're alive and we're all thriving and stuff like that. If you have a question, just pop it in and then I can answer it for you. The way that I created this mastermind is that I looked at not only so many of the problems that I see with health coaches today, but really what were the problems that I had in the beginning. And if you don't know your niche, if you don't know your story, then it's really hard to go and build out your work with me page. So if you then get to that place, but you don't have the mindset of a CEO, or you don't have that confidence, it's really hard then to actually go into that, real phase of I'm a health coach and I'm going to charge, either my worth for an online program, an offline program, or how do you convert a health history, or what do you actually say on the health history without giving away the shopping center for free? For me, the 60-minute fill out the health history with somebody on the phone, that completely failed for me all the time, until I figured out that I was pretty much doing a session for free. And so why after would they actually hire me? So I do things very differently now. I actually did a webinar on that whole topic. But the way that this mastermind is laid out, bear with me. Can someone just pop in and just answer, raise their hand? Okay, perfect. Awesome. And does anyone have any questions, as I seem to be just scrolling down here? So I'm just going to take you through the weeks and what's included. So this is an 8-week mastermind. A mastermind is really a place where you are masterminding your ideas. I was actually just talking, and I see Judy actually on the line right here. I was just talking to Judy probably about 45 minutes ago. I believe Judy just signed up. I think I saw that as I was with Sammy in the other room, which is my daughter. And yes, Judy's saying yes. And I was telling her that for me, I joined B School with Marie Forleo 7 years into my business. And I love Marie Forleo. She was on my list for I have to go to B School. But for me, I get very overwhelmed in very large forums. And so I have found that and I would say not that you shouldn't go to B School, because I think B School is phenomenal. Marie is phenomenal. The access to the different people that you meet and her materials. But I found that when I was in another mastermind that I was in this year, which was small, and the person who was running it really knew me and was calling me out on stuff and was saying, hey, you said you were going to do this on X date, and I had an accountability partner in there because we had a choice to sign up with one. So I did. And I also said, I'm going to dedicate an hour a day. And those were my goals, which is why I set it up to be 8 classes. And we really end like at the end of September. So if you're the kind of person that feels like you get lost, you feel overwhelmed, when you get a lot of different material, that's the reason that I'm doing office hours on Friday. So that if you need to go and say, you know what, Rach, like, this is really confusing, or, I want to kind of go over my work with me page, or how did you meet with that gym and do a 90-day challenge? Like, because really the 90-day challenge was, some of the Done For You programs put together. How did you create, programs for that mom's group that you partnered in another gym? So it's your opportunity to ask me how I did things, and also for you to look at what we covered in that week's materials, if there were still questions that you had after homework and stuff like that. I do hot seats a lot if people are willing to do them. So if we happen to be on a class during the week and we're going over the materials of that week, and somebody has a question, I will unmute you and actually say, let's take this as a perfect example. So at the end of class, sometimes we'll do hot seats if somebody is willing to do that, whether it's on, hey, I have this idea for branding, or have this idea for marketing. And for some of you who have zero list, or you have a small list and you want to know how often to email, or should you really be warming up to that list first before you're ready to launch to them, or how to get health histories, or really how to hone in on who is your niche and what you actually want to do. I do live streams a lot. I think they're highly beneficial. I'm able to answer a bunch of questions and also to have you tag in underneath. And then those live streams you can even save because Facebook gives you that option, and you can save that link. Right onto, right onto like a notepad or an Evernote or wherever you keep, your different kind of tools and tricks. So we have the Accountability Health Coach program. Again, like once you enter this program, you'll have a Google Doc right there. Everyone's going to fill it out. The first week is our mindset week. So during that week, we will match you with somebody, or you guys can, match yourself, but we'll kind of look at where each of you are. If somebody is like at the beginning parts of their business and you both want to work on, Facebook and visibility and website, really going to work to find that person who's in your time zone, who can work also, in that area as well. The ebooks that I created, so you have Mastering Your Business Mindset. Then we move into a module 1, which is Niche in Your Story. These aren't just like 2-page handouts. One of the ebooks is even like 41 pages. This covers, even in marketing, like live stream, Periscope, how to market. One even is a blogging template. So many people just don't even know how to blog. One of the things that I did, and I can even show you some of the materials, which I think are even in the preview on the sales page, is, social media. Like, how often do you post on social media? How to use Buffer? Why do we use Bitly? All the things that kind of everyone's always like, how do I do this? When do I do this? And also how to create a schedule for yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that happens that I see, is that coaches, and myself included, would feel overwhelmed, and we wouldn't exactly know like when to actually do something. So if you're launching, you're not just editing your materials, getting your sales page done, and then doing open cart. You're actually leading up to that launch by dripping out the excitement, creating a buzz, especially if you have no list, especially if you have a small list. So really how to implement that 3, 2, and 2 process. And, that launch should also go back to what is your niche. I always give this as an example. I worked corporate for many years. I wouldn't necessarily roll into corporate and be like, hey, I want to do a whole webinar or a whole free talk on, how to kick sugar cravings, and then lead you into a detox. Because most people in corporate are like, wow, I am getting in here at like 7:45, 8 o'clock in the morning. I just drove an hour from home, ate in the car, and you want to talk to me about detox when I don't roll in my house until 8 o'clock at night? But if you said to somebody, hey, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to talk to you about a reset, or how to lose weight like when you're really busy, or so that you're really understanding your niche, your sub niches, and the messages that align with each of those, that's when you start to see what I call wins. That's when you are converting health histories to paid clients. That's when you're actually having people who are seeing you either visibly online, or you are learning how to build that offline business, which is where most of us also need to start. We think online, but if we don't have that offline visibility as well, it can be really hard to get those health histories. So there needs to be a combination of both so that you're meeting people offline and you're meeting people online. And so that when you do launch your website or an opt-in freebie or a challenge, you know exactly what you're leading them to. So it's not always like, well, should I do this challenge and what date should it be? So that you're almost in a rinse and spin cycle, for your business. And it doesn't mean that things won't change. That's the thing about business and being an entrepreneur in a business that has marketing involved, is that you're always going to kind of have to test things out. Marcy is asking, will we get guidance on how to build offline businesses as well? 100%. And I think this is a huge topic, Marcy, because building an online business is really important for visibility. But if we don't also understand how to reach out with a referral letter, what to say in a referral letter, how to figure out the splits, between if you're reaching out to a gym or a chiropractor's office, a yoga studio. I mean, these were all the things that I did, especially in the infancy of my business, because I knew that I needed to reach out and meet as many people and go in and almost pitch to them, which is not like a dog and pony show pitch, just to say, look, I want to do this free workshop. And that free workshop build up, locally, people saying, oh, wow, Rachel talks about adrenal fatigue. She talks about digestion. She talks about detox. There were key topics that I always had. I always call them my signature PowerPoints, that each of you will learn to make. It's the same thing with your marketing, same thing with your social media. So you will have key topics that people will know you as, which goes back to your niche, your branding, and your story. Like everything ties in together. So Marcy, if you need like a step-by-step, I can definitely offer that without a doubt. Or if you need to know how exactly to approach people offline, what to say, how to use flyers offline. This is something that I did, almost every day, weekly, and a lot of my one-on-one clients locally. I mean, I always had people worldwide that I had as clients because they would find me from my videos that I created in the beginning. But the how and the why and the where to do it, we can definitely talk about for building that local visibility. And also how to even do those kind of house parties where you're, just having 5 to 10 women, 5 to 10 people in your home, or couples or anything, and starting to actually build your business or do a home party. I've done actually cooking parties at other moms' homes. I've done shopping tours. I mean, I've done all of those things that you hear in school, that you're always wondering, how do I price? How do I lead them to something else? Am I doing this for free? How do I really build my business? So, at the end of the day, I believe that it all fits together, which is why I put these modules together in this way, and that at the end of these modules, we have 2 weeks that are implementation weeks. So we really have 2 live Q&A phone calls where you're submitting questions, we're going over questions. So if you're not available on the Sunday call, which I did this on Sunday so that people who are working 9 to 5 can be there. I did on Sunday also so that if you are Pacific time or if you're in another part of the world, that you can also attend. But on that live Q&A, you can submit questions. I will go over the questions and I will put them step by step in an Evernote, so that I will answer them in that way and then share that with everyone. So what you also get is a free opt-in freebie. Opt-in freebies usually go for, you see them on Facebook, you see them being sold. But they typically go for about 57 to, plus bucks. I mean, even just getting the cover done on Upwork or Fiverr, if you get it done nice with a picture, is usually like 25, 30, 35 bucks. So that is there for you to brand. So if you have no list and you even have no site, then tonight, when you sign up, your job is to make sure you have MailChimp or Aweber or another email service. So whether you call it mini reboot or you change the cover, you change the name, you add in your bio, you add in your information, the whole goal is always to start building your list, bottom line. Hillary Weiss was one of my first copywriters. She was epic, amazing. That's why we're going to go over also sales page. And sales page doesn't just have to mean like a sales page that you are selling a program. This could be a mini opt-in page on Eventbrite. This could be a mini opt-in page like on a blog leading to, signing up for a challenge. This could be that maybe you're using lead pages, if you don't have a site, or maybe you are using Weebly, or maybe you're using, Live Edit from school, but maybe you want to have a little opt-in explaining to people the benefits that they're going to get. Maybe you want to do a little video to really bring people in. Again, visibility, humanizing you, letting people know who you are and why they should give you your email. So Hillary is awesome and talks about like 5 tips for writing a great sales page. Agnes, many of you know Agnes already. She created a special bonus masterclass on Facebook business page, but it's also going to do a live Q&A 30-minute with us. And then here are all these extra photos. Plus, I also made banners. Many of you, I go onto your personal Facebook page, and it's not that you should be marketing on your personal page because Facebook does not like that, but it's important to let people know that you're at least a health coach. So I made some killer banners that you can just put right on your Facebook page so that at least you can get started right away. And it's always great to swap out covers too, because when you swap out a cover, it gets people's attention. Ironically, I did 2 Facebook posts and actually 3 tweets. So I'll kick that up to 3 Facebook posts. But I created those just to give you a jump start. That's usually where people get stuck. I feel like people get stuck in a few areas. Newsletters, blogging, it's the basics. It's not often the other stuff. Most of you have either done free programs, have done free programs, done for you, whatever. But you get stuck on like how to actually blog and infuse your own story. How to blog, and at the end of the blog, insert the call to action. How to do a video and insert a call to action. And so those kind of Facebook posts and tweets and all of that kind of like, mini copy is what I call it, is stuff that we're also going to cover. And also Connie's saying like to be, newsletters are hard to be consistent with. That's why we're going to go over a schedule. And that is why when you sign up by July 17th, I thought about this a lot, to go over launching and to really like kick ass your business and take it to the next level, no matter what level, what stage, whether you're like, killing it, like, making $1 million a year in a health coaching business, or whether you're making like 5,000 a year, no matter what level, you have to plan. And things have to plan and make sense. Otherwise, not only do we get confused as the business owners, but we confuse our potential clients. So what we're going to do is we're going to do probably going to end up being about 90 minutes because it will be a lot to cover. But we're going to do a class. It's going to be on the 23rd. So it will be the day before class starts. And we are going to actually go step by step through a 3-month calendar. So I'm going to show you how I back into my launches. So if you want to rock out like a 5-day challenge, great. What is that 5-day challenge leading into? When are you sending out your emails? Where are you marketing? Your Facebook event. So we're really going to actually like itemize what you're doing. And then if you do want to build your offline, great. What days are you going to go and reach out and scout? So would that be a Tuesday that you're going to go dedicate that time to reaching out to local people? Or you're taking Thursday to call maybe local people? I love doing what I call old school, where I walk in and you meet a person, give them a flyer, give them something that you have, show them what you're about, even if you have to go back a second, a third time. So we're going to do that, plan it out so that when we get to that beginning part, everyone's not like, oh my God, what am I actually doing? How am I actually launching my business? Because for some of you, again, as I said, you don't have any list, you don't have any website, you have a lot of information, a lot of knowledge, a lot of passion, a lot of handouts, a lot of this, a lot of that, but you don't know where to put it together. So does anyone have any questions? Oh, Monique said, what? That's awesome. Yeah, I know. Well, that Monique came to me at like 3 o'clock in the morning when I woke up in the middle of the night. And I thought, you know what? How would I be doing right if I didn't do that? Because the only way to run a successful business, and I've learned this over time, because I do love like last minute things. I think last minute stuff like doing raffles and doing kind of like really build the hype and fun buzz stuff is awesome, but it also leads to adrenal fatigue and it can lead to like haphazardness. And you'll see a lot of coaches who will jump from different things. Maybe one day they're doing a multi-level company and then the next day they're doing something else. And the next day they're doing something else. And it's not that that's bad. It's just, it's not planned. So if you want to be with a multi-level company, great. You can make it very successful, but then have it planned on how it really is infused into your business and why. If you want to be with a multi-level company and you really want to bring people to that product, then what challenges are you doing to build your list, and what around that product is about your brand? So it's really actually planning it out so you can say, what do I want to launch? Why do I want to launch it? When are my newsletters going out? What are the best times? And really have a clear overlooking picture. And then you can take that just like I do, and I sit even by myself and take an additional, sometimes 10 hours just by myself to go through that and be like, oh, you know what, this makes sense. That makes sense. Because I started as a solo entrepreneur. Most people are, unless you maybe have a virtual assistant. Back in the day when I started, that term virtual assistant, there weren't many. It wasn't like today where there are virtual assistants left and right. So I didn't have a virtual assistant until about 3 and some years into my business. So a lot of this I really learned on my own. So talking about organization and systems are very important as well, whether it's Basecamp or teamwork or just keeping very organized in a Google spreadsheet. Connie is saying, so you call on Thursday and you go see them on Tuesday. No, I was saying if you wanted to go out of your house, you might make that like a Tuesday, really strategically setting up your week as a health coach. So that like I know on Mondays, I don't book anything because Monday is kind of, I call it make it happen Monday, and Friday is like cleanup day where I'm getting kind of things organized for the weekend, social media, checking in with, different people who I work with on my team. That wasn't always the case, but Friday was, making sure that I reached out to the people who had appointments. And just kind of set the stage for knowing that marketing for me was really good on the weekend. But I would set like maybe Tuesday, for making phone calls to maybe local places. Like I just got through the other day from somebody saying, hey, we just opened this fitness place. Another one was, we just opened, a doctor's office right down the street from you, and they're calling to pitch to me to see how we could be partners so that we could support each other. And then on Saturdays, you know, when most businesses were thriving, because I live in Boca, I would either drive, you know, to Del Rey. There were so many different little shops and places, juice places, smoothie places, cafes, little health places, health spas, and I would go and hand out flyers and stuff like that. So I would just make sure my days were organized, and half the time on that Saturday, I would have one child on the hip. But that's what it was, and I would put business cards up everywhere, and I would see other people's business cards, so I would try to always say, hey, is the owner here? And meet them, and that is how I started to build my business, and it worked. So for local context, just walking cold. I always say this, Connie, nobody would think I'm an introvert because clearly you see me everywhere on Facebook, especially with live streams and videos. But okay, mommy will be right out. Yes. Yeah, sorry guys. I have a little sick one tonight at home, so she was just coming to my office. But I would just, even though I felt that fear, I just said, you know what, I have to do this anyway, otherwise no one's ever going to know me. And I think that's the biggest thing that I see also with health coaches, and this is what Marcy was alluding to earlier, is that we can't just depend solely on one aspect of our business. For me, I knew early on, coming from business, is that to have a thriving business, you need active and passive income. To have a thriving business, you need an online presence and an offline presence. And online just meaning that when people would come to my site, when I put that Done For You program up, and when I got really clear about who I was working with, when my work with me was clear, my about me, that's when actually local magazines and newspapers and you know, they were contacting me and saying, oh, can you blog for us or can you write an article, because of that visibility. So, you know, it doesn't mean that everything, and I was saying this to Judy earlier, she was like, well, am I going to get overwhelmed? And I said, it doesn't mean that you're going to do everything all at once, maybe in this 8 weeks. Maybe some of you will. But what it will do is it will give you a framework and a guideline for the very things that in real life health coaching I have done and what I've seen others do and have had success. That's why I've had coaches who have done the business mastermind come back because they've had that support, they've broken through fears, they've come out of overwhelm, they've brainstormed, they've mastermind, I mean, and they have been able to build their business. Okay, Marcy's saying in the 60-minute class, yes, so the 60-minute class, Marcy, would be on the 23rd of July. That would be on a Saturday. And it will be, I know it's a Saturday night, not trying to diss on anyone's Saturday night, but I want to do it before class starts. And again, we're ranging between 60 to 90 minutes. I have a feeling that we'll probably fall in between that 75-minute range, only because there's a lot to cover and kind of mapping out. And you will have homework prior to that, like what are your goals? What do you want to launch? What's in your vault, so to speak? Like if you have Done For You programs, if you have an opt-in freebie, I will be sending out homework prior to that so that we come really organized to the plate. Yes, love you. 1 second. Mommy's almost done. Okay. Connie's saying, so you hand out flyers to their clients. I usually left flyers. Yeah, I mean, Connie, I'm a girl that likes to go rogue in the sense that I try it all. I test, and I think that's what makes me unique in certain ways, and I think that's why I love Gary Vaynerchuk so much, is that he doesn't prescribe to this one dogma. I don't prescribe to one dogma with eating, and it's the same thing with business. I do believe that everyone needs an amazing sales funnel, which is why, let me just explain this. Like, everyone needs to have this. I 100% believe that. I swear by this. And on every one of my 4 whiteboards, this is mapped out always. What is my free offer? What is it leading them to? That discovery session, that health history, and what am I saying in that health history to describe what is that one-on-one session going to be like? That one-on-one session always involves some aspect of done-for-you programs for me because they just gave a great foundation. They also help to explain my system, which on my Work With Me page and any coaches is very important. That led to me having online groups. Also because some people couldn't afford my one-on-one. Even from the get-go, even from the start, even when I offered 30-minute sessions for people who were really sick. They couldn't afford it. And so I wanted to have those online groups so that people who couldn't afford that could still get support from me. And so that turned into group coaching, all of that, and VIP days, which were really fun, which were awesome for families who hired me. I did shopping tours with them. We revamped the whole, kitchen. We, worked with the whole family. And then you have your, for some of you, your 3-month or 6 months. Some of you want to do 12-month packages, retreats. We'll cover email marketing, how to do emails, how to make it non-salesy and blah. But that's why I really think that no matter who you are, sorry, I go back to this, you need to have this aspect. And then you kind of test. You test what works. Is this a great basic anatomy of an email funnel? Yeah. But, not always is it perfect. Everyone has a different way of marketing. Ryan Dice has a way of marketing. Certain people believe, in kind of this click funnel kind of way. Certain people believe that everything needs to have a 5-email sequence, So again, there are different theories and models, and that's kind of also what we're going to talk about and go over is that, to how to figure out your model, and how to also figure out how to test and then analyze, test and analyze, how to niche out your programs so that you are really speaking to that person that needs to hire you so it doesn't just look like everyone else. And then, what I said about launching, I think that's the biggest thing. Whether you're launching an opt-in freebie, whether you're launching your website, whether you're launching a program, whether no matter what you're launching, you're always launching. Even if you're doing health histories, and you decide to do a health history Saturday, you're still launching that. You still have to let it be known somewhere, whether it's a newsletter or somewhere else. It has to be known. So how are you going to go about doing that? Okay, so as I went over earlier, what exactly does this involve? So if you enroll by July 17th, it is $165 for 3 months. I do payment plans on everything. If you want to pay in full, awesome, wonderful. If you want to take advantage of the payment plan, you totally can. This is actually the link right here. And if you go to www.rachelswellness.com and you go to shop, you'll see it right at the top. Access to the mastermind, access to find out more, and just click on it and it will take you right to this site. Marcy, even if you're on vacation at your mom's, you can totally, no, not cheaper to pay in full. I don't do that with, I'm one of the very few people, I think, that I don't try to, do it cheap or anything. You'll save, if you buy by July 17th, you save $80. Price goes up after July 17th. But even if you're on vacation at your mom's and you just want to hop on, this this is this is recorded. So Marcy, totally can make it happen. But if you feel like you need to be with your mom, I totally understand. Family always comes first. Although we have to have a good, healthy balance of business and family so that this isn't a hobby. Oh, she's 88. Oh, well, maybe she'll want to chill out at that time and you can hop off and get in. But if not, I will really plan it out. Everyone will have the one that I plan out as a mock one, as well as your own. So you'll get the access to the mock one that I plan out as well. Does anyone have any questions before I go get my little one her dinner? She's been so patient. Her dad's not feeling well either. Thank God I have essential oils blasting through my whole house for my son and I. We're good as gold. So, does anyone have any questions?
Yeah.
What time? Oh, the class is going to be at 7 p.m. on the 23rd. And Monique's saying, can't wait. Aw, Sammy. Everyone's saying they can't wait. So if you guys have any questions for me, you can email me personally as well. I feel like investing money in our business is a really big thing. I mean, we also, and I just want to end with this, we also are going to cover a whole entire module on detox. So I kind of pulled together the different schools that I attended. Dr. Morse, who is absolutely one of my favorite teachers, Natalia Rose. I also went to school for Wild Rose up in Canada online. And we're going to talk about the elimination diet, mono meals, digestion, allergies, different essential oils. So there are all materials in each ebook on that. So if you have questions about the materials or you want to see more of the materials, there's also the materials right at the bottom of this as well. But just email me so you can take like a sneak peek of what this looks like here. But again, email me. You can find me through Facebook, or you can email me at rachel@rachelswellness.com, or through my site. Either way, let me know. And we're going to tell them we're going to have a good night, right? All right, guys, have a good night. Thanks so much for being here. I really hope to get to know each one of you. And again, if you have questions on if this is right for you, just give me a holler, and I'm more than happy to have a one-on-one conversation with you or have email correspondence. And I'm sure that everyone will make the right decision. I'm totally excited for this. This one is killer. I would say kick ass, but my little one is here.
What does that spell?
But
What does that spell?
nothing, sweetie.
Okay.
And I love you all. So have an amazing time, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a good night, and do some self-care tonight. Some lemon water, possibly a castor oil pack, and we're going to go have dinner. All right, guys. Take it easy. Bye.
What does that